15 tragic accidents that occurred during filming. The 1890s was when film was first introduced, and back then they were only about 1 minute long, and I am pretty sure that very few accidents took place. These days we push the limits as far as we can in film, and sometimes with dire consequences. 15. Tragic accident. Olivia Jackson was working as Milla Jovovich's stunt double in Resident Evil, the final chapter. She lost her arm while filming a stunt scene. She was filming a chase scene on a motorbike, riding towards a metal camera arm, which didn't move away like it should have. It shattered her left arm, which she ended up losing. Another crew member actually died when an unsecured car fell off a platform and crushed him to death. 14. Tragedy struck. The Twilight Zone, the movie, was released in 1983. During the filming, there was a helicopter scene which saw the chopper hovering around 25 feet in the air. When some pyrotechnics went off on set, the helicopter was struck and it came crashing down. It sadly decapitated actor Vic Morrow and child actor Micah Dinh Lee, who was just 7, and crashed Renee Shii Chen, who was 6. It was a long time before helicopters were used in films again, and much stricter regulations were in place when children were involved in filming. 13. Worst film ever. And I'm not just saying that, that is what The Conqueror has been deemed by many. This 1956 film had a crew and cast of 220 people, and of those 220, 91 contracted cancer. The film was recorded in Utah, roughly 10 years after the US Army had tested bombs in the area. 60 tons of the dirt was shipped to Hollywood so they could wrap up filming there. So who knows who else came into contact with the dirt? The producer, Howard Hughes, thought the movie was awful and bought every single copy of it. It cost him $12 million, and reports say he was the only one who watched it until 1974. Paramount made a deal with him and eventually bought the rights of the film. 12. Gone Too Soon. Harry O'Connor was the stunt double for Vin Diesel while filming XXX in 2002. It was being filmed in Prague, and as he was being pulled at exceptional speeds on a paraglider, he tragically hit a bridge pillar. He died instantly. They kept the scene in the film right up to just before he collided with the pillar. 11. Do not pity the dead, Harry. Pity the living, and above all, those who live without love. Albus Dumbledore had some strong words for Harry Potter, and it was almost death for David Holmes, who was working as Daniel Radcliffe's stunt double. It was during a flying stunt that Holmes was hurled against a wall, which in turn fractured his neck, sadly leaving him paralyzed. He was just 25 years old at the time. 10. Accidents happen, but it's never easy to accept when someone passes away from them. David Ritchie was a set dresser for the film Jumper, a movie that starred Samuel L. Jackson, when he was killed accidentally. He was dismantling an outdoor set when part of the set fell on him and crushed him. When the accident was investigated, it was confirmed that sand and earth that had frozen to the wall had basically come undone and caused it to collapse on Ritchie. 9. Blank shot. That's what it should have been, except that an actual bullet was released and it killed Brandon Lee in 1993 during the filming of The Crow. Lee's character, Eric Draven, walked into his apartment, only to witness his fiancée being raped by thugs. The thugs then shot and killed him and his fiancée. When the handgun was loaded with a dummy round, no one noticed an actual bullet in the handgun. He died after being hit in the abdomen. They finished the film using a body double and special effects. 8. The show must go on. Scott McLean was a stuntman in the movie The Hangover Part 2. During a scene involving moving taxis, McLean had his head out the window while the car was driving. He accidentally came into full contact with an oncoming vehicle, leaving him with permanent brain damage and physical injuries. He did sue Warner Brothers for an undisclosed amount of money. 7. In memory of. Top Gun was dedicated to Art Scholl, a renowned aerobatic pilot who was 53 when he was killed. He was doing the in-flight camera work for Top Gun when he had to do a flat spin. While doing the spin, he wasn't able to recover the plane and he crashed into the ocean. No one knows the exact cause of the crash. 6. Gone but not forgotten. The final season was a baseball movie released in 2007. Roland Schlotzhauser was one of the cameramen and was busy filming parts of the parade when the helicopter he was flying in hit some power lines. The helicopter went down, killing Roland and injuring the pilot and producer on board the helicopter. 5. Die another day. She may not have died, but Gabriela Cedillo suffered life-changing injuries while filming the third Transformers movie. She was an extra in the film when steel cabling that was holding a car up broke and the car came crashing down. Gabriela went through the windshield and she was critically injured. Paramount Pictures paid her $18 million after months of lawsuits, but her life will never be the same again, as she is now brain damaged and has severe facial injuries. 4. All for one and one for all. The quote everyone recognizes from The Three Musketeers. While filming the 1988 release of the movie in Spain, Roy Kinnear, one of the actors, fell off a